Hello, good evening, and welcome back to Sunday night, Stamping with Sandra. And I have got something really nice to show you tonight. I've been out, it's been a busy day. It's been quite a funny couple of days, a little bit different. Today we had to drop David over to pick up his Goldwing, and then I popped in on a fellow demo, and who was just up the road from where I was. And something that I made with her for her to use a few weeks ago. So the other Sandra, if you're watching this on replay or you're going to join me live, then welcome. Hi Rhonda, nice to see you. So Sandra will know what I'm on about, but I don't know if she'll get a chance to catch me live. She'll probably be on the replay later. Anyway, it's really nice, and I think it is totally different, and I thought, right, I'm going to make this for them tonight. So, hey, I'm going to get you down on the table and show you what, well, I'll work you through what we're going to work with. So let's get down. Here we go. Marilyn, lovely to see you. I have forgotten one item, but that's not essential at the moment. Hi, Carol, lovely to have you here. So I'm going to take my bottom grid papers away. I'm going to put that on the chair because we're going to be cutting onto my mats tonight. So, hi, Anne, nice to see you. So, this time of year, let me just bring you back to me again. This time of year, we're kind of thinking about calendars. We're thinking about what we're going to, planners and organisers and things like that. Hi, Pam. And we're kind of thinking about, I'm thinking about how to organise next year. Now, back in the beginning of this year, I found a format for my planners that I really, really loved. But I'm finding that I want to use that format, that size in lots of things. So tonight we're going to be getting into organising, but hopefully you're going to like what I've made or what I'm going to make. And it might inspire you to do something a little bit different and do something similar yourself. Okay, so let me get you back down onto the table again and move you back again so you can see where we are. So this is backing board. You know, when we purchase cardstock, I'm going to leave that. When we purchase cardstock, this is one I've got out for possibly tonight. You're going to choose my patterns. Hi, more people joining. It's lovely to see you. So these are cardstocks, as the papers as they arrive. We get these backing boards. Now this backing board, I'll show you in it shortly. It tends to be too thin, but when you get the glimmer card, and I can just reach this one around the camera. Just a sec. This one here is our Shiny Brightly, okay, and because it's a foiled paper, we get this grey mount board on the back. Okay, so this is what we're going to use. We're going to recycle the grey mount board. This is the thicker ones. It's not just the gold and silver glimmer and things like that. It does come on some of the foil papers, but this is what you're looking for. So it's the grey mount board. Cardboard box won't work. It needs to be something solid. Okay, so I got one out just to show you, but it's really flimsy, as opposed to if I turn these on their end, you might be able to see the difference in those thicknesses. It might not come out too well on the camera, but this is the one we're after tonight. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of that one onto the floor. Have I got another one? I've got another one down there if I need it. So we're going to be doing a little bit of bookbinding. It is totally different. So I have my ruler here. I wrote down some sizes as to what I was looking for, and there's a reason why I'm going to work to a certain size for you. Okay, so I'm going to start off, I'm going to work to 22 centimetres this way, so 22 that way and 22 this way on there. So I'm just marking with it's a pen so I can see it. Now this is the line I want to draw along there. And also I'm going to work this way. I'm going to go 17. Now with 17 it's going to be over halfway, so I'm actually going to need to have 2 pieces of card. So I will grab another one in a sec, but for now we don't have a guillotine. Our trimmer won't really cut through this board very well, so what I would suggest to you is you have a metal edged ruler like this one. And then a knife. Now this isn't a craft knife as such. It's actually one for opening parcels, packaging. It's working itself a little bit loose. I'm just going to tighten that up. I've had this for donkey's years, and like I say, it's not for crafting. It unscrews from there, and then you slot a new blade in. This blade has lasted me for such a long while, but I kind of like acquired it from my husband. It was when we moved into our first house together. He had got this in the garage and he wasn't using it, so I said, oh, could I take that? So I'm just going to draw down this metal edge of a ruler. It's important you have metal. Do not use the plastic ones, because you will cut the edge off and it won't be straight for anything you do in future. Now I usually find twice through is pretty good. Sometimes I might need a third. And I'm doing this on a self-healing mat. You'll keep everything perfectly still until you can pull this piece away. Maybe a few more times. It depends on the thickness of your card. There we go. That's just about done it. Okay, so that's just a one piece, just wiping it with the nice clean line on there. So we don't need that piece now. I am a recycler, you know, and I do love to use up things. So I will use those other pieces. Any of you are interested in a business card holders, traditional size business card, I do make boxes for those as well. Maybe that's one. If there's enough interest, I will make that on another live. It's one that I demonstrated at a UK event once. So again, I've measured to 17 centimetres and I'm just cutting down here several times until that breaks away. Okay, so this is the piece I'm going to use tonight. Okay, it does cut into your self-healing mat, but that's not a problem. Okay, so that's one. I'm just going to check this is going to be the right size. There is a reason I'm going a little bit bigger than I did last time. So I'm going to take it out of this packet. It is just an empty envelope waiting to be used. So if you want the inches equivalent, I will just grab those for you in a sec. So again, 22 centimetres this way. And it's a shame it's just over the half a sheet. It's over the 15, so we can't get away with one sheet for both. Okay, but the others will all come in handy. Oh, bless you, Jackie. Sorry to hear you not been well. Okay, so I'm just cutting this through with a cutting blade. Okay, so you can go through as many times as you want, as you need, until you can cut that and break that away. And then this way I'm going to go 17. So 17 to here. And 17 again. You can adjust these sizes to whatever you want to make. So depending on what size pages you want to use, you can just adjust it. Now, I like this ruler because it's got a bar that I can push on and it actually grips the paper underneath. It was one I acquired from a friend who was destashing. So these pieces will be good to use on other things. So I now have the equivalent of two pieces here and they match up nicely. So what we're going to start by doing is choosing some papers. I've got a couple for you today. I've chosen this one out of the Masterfully Made. I need to have two pieces the same pattern. So I want to cover the front and back of, think of it as a notebook, a planner, a diary, whatever. And I've got these two out of the Delightfully Eclectic. So this is another nice floral one. So start throwing me some ideas as to which one you like out of those two. But excuse me, there was another one I was thinking in here, but I think I've probably used. Just thumb through these quickly. No, I think it'll be one of those two today. So that's from the Delightfully Eclectic, and this one's from Masterfully Made. Okay, I'm going to start cutting those because they will both work. And what I don't use on one, I will use on another one. But while your second choice, you like this one, Marilyn, with my hand on it? The one on the right. Okay, that's great. Just excuse me a sec. Just diving under the table. And I'm back. Okay. It's a bit more vibrant, this one, isn't it? So pop those down with the others. So we're going to mark this. Now, each of these pieces, we're going to want to use, we're going to wrap it but I want to have a little bit of a border around here on both pages. Okay, so you can position it a bit like I did last time. I love the flowery one. I think they're both florally, but it's a case of, yeah, I made a window, didn't I, on something else. I made a window as to which piece of the paper. When I used the portrait, panoramic papers, I'm not going to for this. I'm just going to look over this and think, well, the edges are going to wrap round and cover on the inside. So I think I'm going to get quite a bit of that in there. So if I go to a corner of the paper, and I need a little bit of an overhang. So if I say this is going to be about 2 centimetres, it's perfectly 2 centimetres. So I'm going to have 2 centimetres and 2 centimetres. So it's 4 plus on each side. So that's 17 plus 4 is 21, and 22 plus 4 is 26. So that's the sizes for my paper today. Okay, I'm going to cut them both at the same time, because normally I would say if you cut 2 pieces of papers together, you have to be very careful that you hold them together so that they don't slide, because sometimes one can just slide on the other. So let's just look at those measurements. I want this way, the top way, I want it to be 21. Okay, so I'm going to cut them there. I've got them at the edges here, making sure they're lined up. So 21 down. These won't waste, they will be used. And turn it, and this way I'm going to do 26. Okay. Like I say, tonight's all about some bookbinding and just getting you started on some basics to get you going. So I'm going to take one of these. We know which the top, it doesn't matter till we put it together as to which is top and bottom. So I'm going to turn it over. Oh, it's lovely and purple, isn't it? There we go. Okay, don't need the ruler anymore, so that can go. I think we're done. So I'm going to start by sticking this in here, and we've got a little border. Doesn't matter if the borders aren't exactly even. So I'm going to cover one side of the mount board. I'm going to make sure that I give this a good coating down here. Okay, so cover it as well as you can. We don't want any loose pockets really. It doesn't have to be 100% covered, but just enough that you don't suddenly get a little pillow build up in the middle. Okay, so I'm going to pop that down in the centre. That's about right. There we go. So what I like to do is, yeah, if I turn this over, I'm going to use this very softly on the back here to press on that glue. This is my puck that I use for my Stamparatus. Firm that down nicely. Sorry, the table's jiggling a little bit. Okay, so that's one. Let's stand that aside and let that rest, and do the same with the other one. It's very busy. It does look like a kaleidoscope, yes. But you guys chose the pattern, so hey. Okay, kind of generous with the adhesive, so I want to get the edges and then up and down like this. And then plonk it in the middle again. Like I say, it's just roughly a border around the outside. You won't see those odd edges when we've finished. Okay. Is the backing larger than what comes in the kit? I don't know about that. It's a case of whatever you could use the backing board from a kit. Would you like me to go and find out for you? Just watch that for a sec. Good thinking, Rhonda. I like your thinking. I've got a kit here off camera. It is a bit, oh, whoops, landslide. It is a bit narrower. So, yeah, it's going to be a little bit shorter. This is your kit one. Okay, the length is fine. If you wanted to make your book to that, depends on your pages you're going to put inside. I'll come to that at the end. I kind of want to give you a little bit of a guessing game. Okay, so now we're going to start back on the first one, leave that one a little bit longer to rest. So what we're going to do here is score round all of the edges. Okay, so I'm going to take it round there round here, 3 and 4. Okay, and we can do the same on the other one as well, so I'll do that. It might be off camera, but doing exactly the same on both. There we go. Okay, and I like to rock the edges. So now I'm going to rock these edges. You want that to curve over. So if you rock it, like I'm doing here, you'll see that it helps the fibres to turn around there nicely without getting any jagged edges. Okay, so we do that on both. So they are all kind of starting to bend around the corners now, and we need some scissors. These might be a wee bit sticky. I will need glasses, not yet. So I'm going to cut across the corner. I'm going to bring it up to the camera. I'm going to cut across the corner, but I'm leaving a little tiny piece on the end there, about the thickness of where that would come in. There's different ways of doing bookbinding. You can do, I'll do 2 different corners for you actually. If you want to, you can actually corner that down and pop that across here. Okay, so this would be then folded it in over that corner. You would crease this down and pull that out, and crease that in and pull that out. This is the way I used to do it. You can also cut this corner totally off across there, and then fold these edges in and just push that corner piece in. This way actually covers that whole corner. I think we'll do it this way tonight. So we're going to do that on all of these. We won't cut the edge off. It's one less thing to worry about, isn't it? So we're wrapping that over that corner, but we're going to crease that in there. We're going to crease it in here. Okay, we haven't put any glue on here yet, but we will be sticking these down. Okay, so again, come over that corner, make it into kind of a right angle, hold it in place and crease that out, and then this one here over in the corner. Okay, fold that in there and fold that in there. Okay, no cutting required. Okay, so we'll do the second one as well, so just so you can see it again. So I'm going to literally go that one there, crease along here, so you're butting it up to the cardboard. You're making lovely crisp corners. Okay, this one in the corner, into that mat there, so you're going right into the corner, so it's nice and smooth, no gaps. This one, 2 more left. So crease that, but fold it in there nice and tight, and fold it in there nice and tight. And then this one here. The business cards, if you're interested in business card holders, I have got those instructions already typed up from using several years ago for a demonstration I did. So if you were interested in that and there's enough interest, I will be making those up for you online. So I'm just going to fold this one over. I'm putting some glue on here and some glue in that corner there, and I'm going to put it back over, press it down hard. Okay, just squeezing a little bit of that out, and then just creasing those in, so it's actually gluing that down now nice and tight. Okay, yes please, for business card holders, Jackie. I'll do them on a Wednesday in a couple of weeks then. I won't do it straight away on the Wednesday. Or could I? I could actually do them, maybe do them Wednesday night and then put the tutorial up, because I've got it from doing it for a demonstration. So that's the old laptop. We've been doing some work on the old laptop. You notice I've changed over to just putting on the triangle because the glue squidged out a little bit, having 2 layers of glue. Okay, there we go. Is that all? No, that one's not done. Am I still in camera? Yeah. I'll bring you in a little bit actually now. Can't I? Just bring you in slightly, tilt you a little bit more. And there we go, you can see a bit closer. So pressing it on there, pressing this down and pressing that down. Nice crisp corners. Okay, so that's all 4 of those done. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to rocking because we've got a couple of extra bits on there. I'm going to reinforce that rock like so on all 4 sides. Now we're going to put the adhesive on here. Okay, just squidge that down here and across that corner. So we're going to make sure that we do that nicely and then crease this down. You will get lovely mitered corners from this. Really nice mitered corners. You can run it along the side there and bring it up to meet where you are. Okay, and then we continue all the way around, sorry. Now, like I said, I had one of my team members around a few weeks ago, and she loved the system that I'm using. And I said, right, let's make your cover. So we just did this and rattled it out quickly. She chose 2 pieces of paper, and I showed, there was a couple of people here and they just showed them how to do it. But it's a nice one to do. Okay, your own personalised book, really. I then went on to show her my dividers. I'll show you at the end, my completed ones. I have some dividers. Everything came from Amazon or a Good Stationers. You would buy everything at Good Stationers. So if you're not an Amazon fan, you can get them. They're all Filofax supplies. A little bit of a gap under that one. Let's press that down a bit more. Okay, hopefully you'll be able to see how crisp all these edges are, because we're just being so firm. Rolled them over the edges so that's nice and tight, pressing it firmly down and bone folding again. Okay, you can work it out down the side. I have got one further enhancement to these that I haven't managed to source yet, but they're finished, but they would just be a little add-on. Okay, so then on the front, that is our notebook cover. We've got lovely, totally precise corners here all the way around, and that would be our book front. I love the papers on here because you've actually got some, can you see some text in here? It's kind of like a little bit distressed in there as well. There's some typing, some writing across there. So that's one done. I'll put that out of the way and we're going to whisk through the rest of this again. Oh yes, to the business card holder. Okay, we'll do that on Wednesday then. This feels like it's getting a little bit sticky, but I haven't got any wet wipes to hand. Let me grab the isopropyl. On Thursday, I had some ladies making the cork trees, and they were using the hot glue gun, and we were using the bone folders and the scissors, and everything got very sticky. So I've just got the isopropyl alcohol. Just get this online. It's the 99%. If you're going to buy some, get the 99% one. And it's a degreaser, it's a de-stickier, and it does your scissors, it does your bone folders, it does your anything. Your trimmers, if you get glue on there when you've got gluey bits and you're cutting whilst it's glued down. Yeah, it's a good one. It's nice and clean and smooth now. It's lovely. Okay, so just pressing that into the corners there. On the top, do that all 4 sides. So you're about to do this in your sleep. I'm kind of putting the glue across that triangle really, because that's what we've made our creases so we know where we're going. I think the glue is coming from where I'm squeezing it out from the sides here. There's a little bit coming through there now, look. Maybe not too close to the corners. Okay, bring that over. So we'll have done this 8 times by the time I've finished. So just bring that up a bit. It's easy when you've got your triangles because you can see where you're going to. Into there and into there. Okay, that's all 4 sides. Re-emphasize those rocking, so we're going to rock those edges. And then we will put the tombow down the side here, just a little dot in there and zigzag. Dot in there. Bring that into the edge and then press it nice and firmly. Absolutely, Claire. We've done that on here. It's I love that inking technique. Is probably my favourite technique at the moment. It's been for quite a while. It's yeah, the blender pens and the colouring the inks. It's just gorgeous. The effects from it, and you never get two the same. Never two the same. You can use the same colours and just get so many different outcomes. It's lovely because then it's unique. So a tiny bit on the corner, zigzag down there. Just gets those really crisp edges. Doesn't matter if it's not quite together on the corner there, or they're different widths. We're going to be covering this in a sec. And the last one on here. Okay, and bring that in. Nearly there. But it's important that these are all glued down solid. If you get little pockets of air in there, it just lifts and bubbles a little bit. So there we go, and we have a matching pair of covers. Oops, bring them down. Over a bit. The board's on the wonk, isn't it? There we go. So they are my two covers. So what we're going to do is cover the insides now. Now for this pattern, these papers, I thought that the blue would go quite nicely because we've got predominantly blue on the outside. So I'm going to see if I get the whole sheet. I could probably... Coming in here, we'll probably be able to get away with a not, using half a sheet now. So let's just see what the widths are. We want to be the same either side, so we've got a nice even border. So I think I'm going to write down here, it's 17. So if we went 16, we would have a ½ centimetre gap around the edge, and I think that's going to be right, which is more than we want, but don't worry. 16 times, and one off there, that'll be 21. Okay, so we'll cut those two pieces. So 21 is this length, so we're going to have 16 on this side, but we won't get two pieces out. I've got another piece here that would do. So 21 is the width of our card, and we want 16 coming the other way. Now this is not going to be easy to see on camera because it's right in the middle of where that fold is. It's where that hinge sits, just in there. Okay, so take that one, that's for one. Oh, lovely. Very pretty. I've not used this colour much. It's not one I go to a lot, just a little. But it's lovely, it really is lovely. So all of those can go down on the floor now. And so these ones. Now it's up to you whether you want to use your Tombow again, but it's a little mark on there. I don't know what it is. It's just in the manufacturer. So I'm going to turn that over, and that will make us some nice. That's on the right one. Nice, evenly bordered around the outside there. Okay, so we need to cover this really well. I'm tempted to use some tape. I had this out the other day. Right at the edges, I'm tempted to use the tape so that we can really get right to those edges. Okay, so I'm taking this right to the outer edge. Okay, the downside is I'm not sure how much is left on this roll, and we might not have sufficient. I don't currently have a spare of this. So going right up to those edges. Okay, I've got another little technique. You might not have, if you use tape a lot, you might not have heard of wings. But I'm going to do a wing technique when we finish. Whilst you've still got a little bit of manoeuvrability. So it is tear and tape. It does exactly what it says on the tin. You can tear this with your nail. But because I'm doing sharp edges, I'm right on the edges there, I am cutting it. Okay, so that's one done, ready. And I will smother this with Tombow as well. Okay, so this is the one with the mark on it. I'm going to share the links to the pages if you're interested afterwards as well. I'm not an affiliate of Amazon at all. I just like the fact that the Amazon delivery drivers are going around the neighbourhood every day anyway, so it's not using any more ozone layer. It's not costing me fuel, and because David's got Prime with his viewing, I can get quick deliveries with no charges. It does make a big difference. There's no petrol involved. There's no car park fees if you had to go into the city to get something. So I am an Amazon fan. So to do wings, I turn out one side on each, just on a corner. Okay, just a tiny little bit. Okay, and then we will get these in position when I've got the Tombow on. Get these in position. If instead of this being really tacky all the way around and you're trying to lift the whole piece off if it's not straight, we will just be able to have that really tacky in the corners, and then we could lift it off if we needed to, and then once we're happy we'll be able to pull the rest of these out the side. So that's the reason for that. But I do like to go all over this area as well for the same reason as the DSP, so there's a good covering on there. Okay, now I'm going to place it down in the middle, so 1/2 centimetre all around the outside edge. Get that nice and even. It's a good coverage. We don't want it to be too much of the paper on the inside. That's a good fitting on there. I'm happy with that. If not, I could get my nail under and lift it off before everything bonds together. So I'm going to press that down really firmly because we know we're right. Okay, and then very carefully, all I'm going to do is just slide this out from the side. Okay, it's adhered in the corners perfectly, that's fine. And that just saves you a little bit of angst. If you're not lined up, you can quickly lift it off. A piece of sellotape there, I have no idea where that just came from. I'm not even using it. So this one as well, I can pull all of these out now. I'll press that down. It's just one on each side, and they come out so easily. There we go. So there you have one cover done, and a nice strong liner, and it's really substantial, really, really substantial. Oh bless, thanks Claire. You love the wings, absolutely, wings are the way to go. I've always done wings with tape. Then I'm a convert to Tombow for most things, but things like this, because the Tombow, we don't really want it squidging out onto the nice liner here, but this will, it's quite tacky, and it will make sure that the tape gets right to the edge. And please don't swear at me and use, say, finger lift tape. I detest finger lift tape. This is our Stampin' Up tear and tape. It's a really strong adhesive. It's a really good one. It goes right to what you see is what you get. Finger lift, you've got this flap either side, and when you're putting it down, you've got this surplus, and it's supposed to be easy to lift up, but you can't see where you're actually putting the tape. It really, I'm just not a fan of that, so please don't swear at me and say that's what you use. It's not as efficient as this. Okay, so up and down nicely. There we go. And then the other one, and I want 1/2 centimetre kind of around the outside edges. Get that nice and even. There we go. Those corners, get those pushed down, and I'm happy with that. Again, I am good with eyeball and measurements, so that is in there. There we go. What's my red swipey thing? Claire, you don't watch me regularly, do you? This is an air hockey puck from the game with the air bubbles underneath that you used to try and stop the puck going in the goal down here. It's a game you find at seasides and places like that. It's a child size, so it's 6.5 centimetre one. and I got it to use with the Stamparatus because I had some problems with my hands 2 years ago Christmas, and I ended up having some injections in here. They gnarled up and they were stiffening up, and he said come back to me in a few months if you need another one. I've been, touch wood there, touch wood, 2 years, and I've not needed to go back, so that's I'm really pleased with that. Like technique with the tape, yeah, the air hockey puck, yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. You can get hold of it easily. You're gripping one thing instead of having to push all over it with your wrists, and I was pressing like this, and I think, yeah, my hands were suffering, really were. And as a crafter, you couldn't bear to not work with your hands. My ring's just sticking in the side of me, sorry. So yeah, you get 2 pieces of the felt, sticky back, you just stick them on. And you get the 4 pucks, but you give them to kids or somebody to play with. Or if you find a use for them, let me know. So now we've got a front and back covers. Because they are one directional, obviously the flowers are there and I've got a bit of sky there or something, so I want those to be like this. I'm going to now turn to what I've done previously. These are the pages that I use. These are, I'll get one out. These are A5 Filofax papers, okay? But I've also, if you look at this one here, it's just on some big rings. I've punched 6 holes to match the papers here. But also you'll find the inside, I don't think I'll find a page with no, yeah, there you go, that's fairly safe. I've already been using 2024 diary, so I've already got pages coming in here. These pages are Filofax. I'll go back to the back page here. I will screenshot this, and it's got the product, possibly got the product number on. It's A5. If I do a screenshot of that for you so it's nice and clear, I will put that in. Again, I'll put you the link to the Amazon page where you can buy them. I love this format because we've got, I'm going to bring you in a slightly more, come on, without going too far. There we go, bring those down. It's got columns and it's got the times down here. So this really works. I used an A4 version last year. Nearly 2 years ago, so last year is 2022, and I love the format, but it was A4 was too big. It wasn't loose leaf, I couldn't put new pages in, it wasn't as user friendly, but I loved the format. So I looked and looked, and I found that this will fit in the Stampin' Up planner. If those of you who've got the Stampin' Up planner, they will fit in there. So that's why I bought them, and I love it. It's got, you've got a week at a glance. It's just perfect pages for me. So then from there, I went on to the at a glance. You can get pages like this, which are blank holes, and you can fill in your month, and you can write them in by hand. And then you go on to, they're in my planner already, I think. Let me just go to another one. On these ones, I use some photographic picture framing board mounts that I had, just trying to use up stuff I had. So this is red on one side and just cream on the other. So I cut this to size like this, but I did this for a teamie the other day, and it worked really well, and I love bookbinding techniques. So this is my other one, the same sort of mechanism. The rings come in various sizes. This one's getting a bit shabby already, but I managed to find some dividers. So these dividers are reinforced tabs, and you can get them different ones. I think this was 1 to 20. So I've got this one as a notebook, and I've got all sorts going on in here, literally lots of pages. But I like it because it's loose leaf. If I want to take a page out and put it into my diary pages, I can. If you want to take some out and move some new pages in, you can. So what I'm going to do on here, for my rings, I like to have in the middle. So this is the same size as the piece of card we've just cut. It's 21 centimetres. So for my rings, I just mark the middle of the circle. So the middle one. And I will mark this side. So I'll come in a little bit. You can put a dot in the middle, but I want to be this side of the middle. Okay, and the same here. Put a little dot where I want it to be. Okay, just there. And then I will do the same on the other one. So this is the top. So this is the other top. So I need to do it in reverse. So I've turned it over, and I'm going to do the same here. So I'm going to line it up on, I did line it up to the edge, didn't I? Yes, line it up to the edge of your paper, and then I like to come in a little bit. So same edge as your liner, you can see it, it's lined up on here. And then just bring it just lower than the center. Okay, pen, come on. Just there. That's on the edge, and just there. Okay, now to do these, to punch the holes, now it's covered both sides. To punch the holes, you can try an office hole punch, but with the board it's a bit tight getting in there. Okay, so there are other options. This is a crocodile. Stampin' Up used to have a crocodile, but when they brought one out, I already had this, so I didn't buy another one. So my handles are pink, the Stampin' Up ones were grey. So you have on here a hole to cut a big hole, and you have a small hole. I know lots of my crafting friends have these. They are fabulous. They do eyelets and other settings as well. I tend to just use it for the holes. Okay, you've got these ones on here. Now, the other gadget I have is a Japanese screw punch. And you've got different size holes here. In the lid, I can take these out and put on different hole sizes, right down to a tiny little hole. They're good for if you're working on a scrapbook page. You have a 12-inch piece and you want to punch some holes and put some brads through at various places. You can use one of these and it will punch those out. The only thing with these two, they are slightly smaller than your office punch. Okay, if you wanted to do it in layers and do them separately and then re-punch it, you probably could, but this is slightly smaller. As long as your rings go through the hole, it's fine. So if you wanted to just have a piece of scrap paper and just try it and see. So I put both hands on there and swivel this so I know it's cut through. And there is my hole there. This is my box of rings. I do use them for various things. I've got little tiny ones, which are good for starting off. And then I've got these bigger ones. I've got some medium ones in there. I might get those out tonight. So I tend to buy them in bulk and then keep them in a box. So if I get a couple of these ones out, they would be good for today. But you can grow your rings as you start off. When I had next 20 to 24 pages only, I had these little ones. Okay, so you can get them in different sizes. So these just open up. These are like those split rings, and you just open them up like so. Okay, so I just need to make sure it's going to go through that hole in there, which it does. It's fine. So I'll be happy to use that. So crocodile, it's got a nice big opening there. The only thing is when you punch something out, okay, I can see down the whole of this that there is a dark mark in the middle. If you do a pencil mark, you probably won't see it too good unless you've got better eyesight than me without glasses. So I'm just punching that, going through all those layers together and swiveling it so I know it's definitely cut through. And I will turn that over and tap it. Sometimes they need a bit of a helping hand because it clogs up in here. So you just have to flick it out before you do the next one. Okay, so again, I'm going to go for that mark. And you'll see why I went slightly south of when I marked them, slightly south of the actual hole itself. Okay, the reason being I didn't want the hole going through across the join. I didn't want it half on and half off. Okay, so that's the top of the left. And then just check, this one will be the top of the right. Okay, so I'm going to line that up in there again. Like so, swivel it to make sure it's definitely cut through. Sometimes they fall out, sometimes they don't. That's out. And the same on this one. Punch, swivel, and remove. Okay. I like to leave them like dies. I like to leave them with all the bits out in case I need to use it again in a hurry. So that's gone. So we now have a front and a back, and then we're going to put inside what pages we want to use. For the purpose of today, I'm just going to put the writing paper in. But I've shown you the different options that are available. You can put these papers that I use, the best value I've found, they're 300 pages. They come in 3 packs of 100. So you don't need to have all 300 in at once. You can, whichever way you find easier to thread. I will come from the back there and come up there and come from the back here. and up there. Then you can thread the cover on, like so, and like so, and then do those up. Like I say, the size of the rings will determine a case of how you're going to use it. If you're going to buy some dividers and want dividers in there and it grows fatter, then you have bigger ones. The other ones, the smaller ones I had were 3/4 of an inch. I think these ones might be 1 1/4. Okay, so there is our book finished. Now, to make it nice and pretty, we have this lovely die set called Alphabet a la Mode. Okay, now because of the colours I've used tonight, I'm going to use that blue card again on the front to coordinate all the way through. And what do I want to put on this one? What I would like, actually, what I'm planning to do, put that to one side. Because we're on air, I think I'm just going to use this one for, I wanted to use it for social media. So I'm going to try and be better on my social media. I need to cut this the size of a letter. So what have we got on there? What about there? Do that and go all the way down. Straight. Okay. Now, I don't know if you're going to get, you can see this, you probably won't notice a difference, but my base plate is cleaner than it was. Okay, both sides. It's still very, very well loved, but I actually soaked this in a sink of soapy hot water overnight, and it softened the pieces of card that have been pushed into the plate. It softened those, and then I got a Brillo pad and I scrubbed it all over, and they came up really nice and clean. So compared with how they were, the water was filthy. So I'm going to put on here social media, because we've got so many letters in this set. We can do most of this in one go. C, I. Probably can't see all the dies off the side of the screen, but social. I think I'd do it in 2 batches. Okay, so I'll do those. Just make sure that they're not overlapping, the dies, when you do it. Don't tape them down. It's only a piece of card. You're not lining up with the stamp at all. So I just do it as it is. If for any reason they slide and they go off the edge of the card, it's only a bit of card and I can use another piece. So I've got my spatula, I don't know where I've put it, so I will just lift these off, poke those through for now. And if I lay them on the book, we will start to see how they're going to pop. S-O-C-I-A-L, L stuck in there. If you've still got the old, any alphabet set would do, if you've got the old set still, they're quite big and bold. They might be too big to go on here. I love these skinny ones. They're in the annual catalogue still. So I'll just punch these out. Take the middle out of the A. Oops, a daisy, get on there. So you can pretty this up with flowers, anything else that you want to add to it. But for timeline tonight, I've no idea. Oh, we're nearly the hour, look. I will just put the letters on as they are, just so you can see it finished. So S-O-C-I-A-L. And then I'll do media that way around. Those insides can just come out. And put the card back in the other way. And put M, G, D, I, and A. I'll just throw those in for now. I can put them back off air. One has fallen down there. Okay, I'll sort them out later. The backing plate. This one's still going strong, even with its 2 cuts in there, 2 splits. Crocodile is absolutely brilliant, isn't it, Marilyn? It's lovely. It's a good tool. It's a shame that Stampin' Up retired theirs. I'm treating these very gently. They're all going back on the magnet loosely, and I will sort them later. prise those off. D, I and A. There we go. If you wanted to, you could put a plaque on there so you bring it out a little bit more. I don't want it to be too bulky because I want it to be able to go in my diary handy. So I'm just going to pop those fairly in a line. So shit, Al. Okay, media. So I want to be planning my social media posts and what I'm doing and my blog hops and things like that separately. So the pages that you saw I wrote in the details, the numbers in, they've only been done today. And I'm ready to go basically. So when I'm doing things like this, I tend to start from the center. So you can mark those up. And you can mark where the center is, but having said that, you kind of want to exclude the rings here, so you want to sort of eyeball a little bit. Okay, this is only for me to use, so I'm just gonna put this one down. Just get that running again. Left the lid off. Let's clean the tip. Now come on, out you come. There you go. Oh, I've muckied it up now, look. There you go, he's flurry, it is flurrying. We do, of course, have the adhesive strip, and I really should have got that out. They're really good, this would be perfect for this actually. We had the adhesive sheets, and you could actually stick that to the die cut, and then, and the piece of card, and then die cut them. I really should have used those, apologies for forgetting that. Don't use it very often. I read somebody say that you keep it in with your dies, but the trouble is my dies are all in their stamp packets, so I couldn't have it in every single pack. And just keep a nice safe distance, so that's the two in the middle going from the center outwards. Okay, and then I'll work back one either side of that. Who's still with me? Like I said, it was a little bit of a different post tonight, but I thought this would be a really nice one to show you. Yeah, oh, thanks Tracy, I'm not alone. Yeah, I remember them after the die cuts. I might put a piece of paper in there just saying adhesive sheets, so when I get these ones out, because they're so skinny, it would be brilliant. It would be perfect for these. I wouldn't do these if I'd have realised. I should have thought. I've been out most of the day, and I didn't have lunch, so when I got home at 6 o'clock I was like really hungry, so I wolfed some dinner down and caught my breath a little bit, and yeah, came rushing in to get on. Of course I can't do without my tweezers, can I? And then this one, you've got 5 letters, so the D would be in the middle. You've got 3 either side there. Make allowances for your I being a lot skinnier than the others. So if you've got 6 letters and you do 3 each side, the I is going to be decidedly narrower than everything else. So I'm just going to pick the middle of those 2 letters to go in there. Who came on here? You're still here. Tracy, as you're on here, Tracy, just go and take a look. I did my first reel today, I think. I did do my first reel. It's National Cat Day today. If you haven't seen it already, I did a tiny little bit of film this morning. Both my cats were curled up on their chair before I went out. And I thought, right, let's just do this. And what I didn't realise until I actually did one is you can actually save a draft. So if you wanted to start something and then finish it later, you could. Never knew you could do that on a reel because I've not really looked into it, but hey, we've got one there, and I managed to post it successfully to both Instagram and Facebook. That's a big learning curve for me. So, and adding the music on. David said to use What's Up Pussycat, but it wasn't in the Instagram library probably because it's copyrighted, Tom Jones. So I couldn't use that one, but I just put cats and I got that piece of music up. But yeah, I'm just chuffed that that's something else on my one thing every day. So that's in there, and one more letter to go on. You can embellish this as much as you want. You could put flowers on it. You could do, I just avoid saying too 3D though. A little bit of embellishment's good, but remember that it's going to get knocked about if it's going to be used and abused. It's going to be in and out of handbags. A little bit of Tombow coming out there. But apart from that, I'm really pleased with that. So there's a notebook. It doesn't show up too well on there, but close to it does. Okay, if you wanted, you could put a plaque on there and then stick them on there and have a double mat layer. You can just play with it. But there's your book, and you could have dividers down here. I've made those measurements big enough to do the dividers as well. So remember I showed you up here. These ones have got dividers on, but I made my pages too narrow. You want to protect these because otherwise I need to make new ones for these. Otherwise it will get these battered. Okay, but I've allowed enough gap there to be able to have them as well. My phone did a real ones, goodness knows how though. I know it put one up for me recently and I don't know what the heck I did. It was only a photo and it just sat there and it's like for the real and I don't know what happened. So hey, but yeah, I'm chuffed to say I've done one. Anyway, there you go. You could tie some ribbons on here. Obviously these rings are too big for this particular binder. I'd use the 3/4 of an inch probably. And yeah, just have fun playing with it. And I'd love to see some examples of what you do with it. You could easily get 100 sheets in there as the pack. Let's say it comes as a pack of three 100s. And you can have coloured papers, you can get all sorts like it. But there's me using Stampin' Up papers to make a lovely beautiful notebook. Okay, and then you'll use it because it looks pretty. Dividers really help though. I found my notes were getting a little bit out of control, so I put the numbers down here and I've got an index page on the front and I can just go to a tab and turn it. I won't open it because I've got lots of scribbles in there, but it really helps me. So if I put the links for you on there tomorrow, I've got something else to do after this, and then you can go and see and do them as well. But yeah, please, I'll put the graphic up and the photo, and then by all means put your photos in the bottom of one of the threads, probably the one under the YouTube link one with the photo. Okay, and then see what you do with them. But any papers, any gorgeous papers you've got you want to use up. Okay, so just take that off. Let's see, come back to me. Love to make one instead of putting everything in the phone. Absolutely, I like to see it on paper, and like the calendar, the week to a glance is perfect for me. It really does work, so much so that I loved it and I bought 2024 back in February or March time, I think. So I've had that ready and I keep adding things in. As soon as you find something that's happening, like a repetitive thing, and you know when it's happening next year, pop it in there. Don't put it at the back of your diary and then think I've got to write all of those in next year's diary. Adhesive film to protect it for longer. Yeah, you could do, but it'd be very hard to get all the bubbles out of that. I know what you mean, the sticky back plastic. Be very hard to do that. What I have got up my sleeve, let me bring you back downstairs here again. What I have got in mind is you can buy little metal corners that go on and protect the corners, and I think you just grip them like with pliers, you just grip them on. Okay, I'll tell you for why, because look at this one. I've been using this one for a year and these are starting to get a little bit crunchy on the, can you see that on there? A little bit crunchy on the corner, just a little bit battered. I've not had the dividers that long, so they've not had a chance to get battered, but the corners of this do, and even the inside corners are getting a bit wisped there. So yeah, I think the metal corners would be nice. So if I can locate them, I will share in this post. Okay, but in the meantime, I hope you love that. Is there something a little bit different, agreed? Yeah, a little bit different. Okay, so I must say that today's 29th, isn't it? Yeah, I think 29th. We've only got 3 more days. This is 29th. We've got till the 31st. So we've got until Tuesday night for the Stampin' Up offer, the join offer. So literally, as I think I said the other night, you're on an offer whereby instead of paying £99 for your starter kit, you've got 35% off or 35% more product over the 130, so £175 worth for 99. But the best offer, the most value for money, is the cheaper option. Get £130 worth for £64.35. you actually get more free than you're paying for. So if you please looking into that, then please just give me a buzz. I know there's demos on here as well. Yeah, bye Jackie, see you later. Yeah, happy birthday from Mother. Yeah, I did send one. And yeah, so do get in touch if you're interested in those offers and just paying $64.35 for £130 worth of product. Okay, so only a couple of more days to go, so be quick. Okay, that's all from me, and I will see you on a Wednesday, and I will do the similar to this. I will then fold it on the same milk and do the business card holders. Okay, so see you Wednesday, and take care and stay safe. And if you're in the UK and you're having all the water, I hope you're safe and you're not flooded out. Okay, it's been up and down at the moment.